worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. And you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. And you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here and you're healing every heart. I worship you, yeah. I worship you. And you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. And you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. And that is who you are. Yeah, that is who you are. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop. Jesus, you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. I know you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. And that is who you are. That is who you are. Jesus, that is who you
with Meshell as she talks about life. Everyday people just trying to make it through life. Keep it 100 with Meshell as she talks about life. Everyday people just trying to make it through life.
So, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another segment of Keep It 100 with Meshell.A. I want you to take a minute and we want you to share out this message to your community. Super excited. It has been about 3 weeks now since I've been live. I've been like going through, just like literally going through life's crisis, but I survived. I literally survived the hit, and I am grateful for another opportunity. Listen, y'all, I'm full. I'm full, sis. I'm full. Listen, I made it another opportunity to be able to motivate, to inspire, to encourage someone else because last week I I almost gave up. I didn't give up on God, but I almost was like, I was just saying, you know what, the heck with church people, the heck with church, the heck with all this. I was exhausted. But God, I don't even know when he did it. I don't even know how he did it. Ooh, Raman did it. Oh, shatalabaka. Whew, I'm sorry, but I'm so glad that he did it. And let me tell you something. If you've ever been in a dark place, if you've ever dealt with depression, oppression, suicidal thoughts, and God snatches you out for a reason and for a purpose, that is something to give God glory about. And so I'm grateful that, you know how, back in the day, people stand up and they say, I thank the Lord for being here. No, literally, real talk. I thank the Lord that he did not allow me to lose my mind in this process, in this test, in this trial that I'm in right now. Here's the thing. God has us so covered that people be saying, oh, like what you've been through. Yo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Listen, I'm sorry. But literally, I do not look like what I'm in. Not even what I went through, because I'm still going through. But in the midst of what I'm going through, in the midst of my dilemma, in the midst of what I would say is a crisis, he's a keeper. He's a way maker. He's a miracle worker. He will keep your mind in peace in the middle of a crazy, horrific storm. That's the kind of God that we serve. And here's the thing. People won't even know that you are in the middle of a storm because God will have you so shielded. He will have you so protected. He will have you so covered. He will have you so elevated above the circumstances that people won't have a clue. So I just say before I bring my guests up to hold on and to take note of what it is that you're in. Because when you get out of it, the scripture says, when you've been, oh, Jesus, the scripture said, when you've been strengthened, this is just me talking, Meshell, you're obligated to turn around and to strengthen, to restore, to renew, to encourage, to motivate, to inspire your brother. So don't be selfish with your victory. Share your victory and your victory report with somebody else. I wasn't supposed to be saying all that. I know I wasn't. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna bring my guest up because I know she's full. Listen, we just wanted to take a moment. I know I've always got topics. I've always got preachers on my platform. My show is Keep It 100. For the ones who this is their first time joining, thank you for viewing. I ask that you will share this out to your community. It's Keep It 100. So she has no idea what we're going to talk about. I don't have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I go by the leading of the Holy Spirit, and we may talk about some things that you may say, ooh, I don't like that. You may feel uncomfortable, but it's all right because somebody will be delivered. So I want you to just sit back and just enjoy the ride. We're here to encourage you. We're here to inspire you. But most of all, we're here to keep it 100. Yeah, because listen, honey, where I'm at right now, it was a process. And I did not cross every T nor dot every I. I wanted to drag some people. I wanted to beat some people to the white meat, but God still loved me. And God was like, you know what? I'm going to grab this dummy and I'm going to use her. Because she just crazy. She going to say anything. She going to do anything. She going to give me glory in the middle of it. And that's what I did. So that's why it's Keep It 100. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring my guests up. Sis, welcome to the platform. I don't even know what all that was about.
God, showing
I,
out already.
I want you to take a moment and I want you to just let people know who you are and where you're from, and then we'll go from there.
Well, my biggest flex is I'm the father's daughter. I can say that because without him, it would be no me. But I am the coach you need. I'm the mind your words coach. I'm your grief, healing, faith, hope coach. You get so much in me, but you get God. That's the biggest bonus is him because he leads me. And when I will tell you some things that you don't want to hear, but if you tell me to say it, guess what? You got to hear it. I'm a mother of twin boys, one in heaven, one on earth, and wife of the one. And that's about it for now. And so much more, but that's enough for right now.
Okay, so listen, here's the thing. I just listened to your testimony, your introduction, and I don't know you.
Yeah.
I don't know you, but I literally have been following you for maybe the past 6 7 months, just peeping in on your lives. That's why people never know who's watching them in the midst of what they're going through. That's why it's so important to continue to push. And I was watching, and the Holy Spirit told me to invite you to my platform. I didn't really know anything about you. I was listening to your introduction a while ago. I didn't know that you had a child in heaven. I do too. You
My
you know what I
God,
mean?
that is so intentional. My God,
And I'm just like,
wow.
wait a minute. So God has a bigger plan, and we're just gonna flow with
Woo.
God's plan. So what I do is tonight is the first time that I've ever had a show and just put the topic of let's have the conversation.
Yes.
So in having the conversation, we may talk about anything. I do have some things that I want to talk about, but let me just ask you this because in watching, in viewing, I noticed someone say hello from Delaware. Hey, bless you, and thank you for joining the show. So listen, I really I want you to share this with us. I know my story, but what makes you be look at you smiling. You don't even know what I'm going to say. What makes you be an encourager? What makes you be a person that will motivate someone else? What inspires you? What is your push? What is your drive? Oh, I felt that when I said, I'm telling you, I really feel God in the room because this is like my first time since I've been through all of the whatever. And I really feel God's presence. But what is it that pushes you?
Not to sound cliche, but God is my pusher because I used to say when He will keep you as long as you want to be kept until I didn't want to be kept, and yet I'm still here being kept. I literally gave up on me when my son transitioned. I just wanted to die, and God's just like, no. I'm like, it's too much pain. I can't take it. He said, give it here. So it's just like God literally is my pusher because some days I really don't even want to get out of the bed, but God says, get up. It's my responsibility to tell the world what God does because he keeps you past you wanting to be kept because he has somebody else depends on your story so they can know I too can make it. I too, like when I was a little girl, my great grandmother had breast cancer, and that gave me my love for my elderly. I absolutely love them. And I saw her pushing and carrying the whole house, and she taught me how to clean her wound. And I was only 5, and I did it. My mother was 32, and she wouldn't do it. She was like, "Girl, you did that at 5." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "God was doing something in you," because I knew it was nasty, but it was. But when I saw the joy in her face for me just helping her wound, that just pushed me. And she always had a smile on her face and talking about the goodness of God while she was deteriorating right in front of us. So God is truly my motivating force that pushes me every day, past
I
me wanting
get
to
it.
push, past me wanting to be kept.
I get it. So listen, so I've got I just want to, as far as losing your son, I don't want to go into that because I'm not even ready to go into mine. But people don't really know what that process is really like unless you've lost a child. Just the thought of giving up, the thought of not having hope, but then yet the thought of trusting God
My
through the
God.
process. What did that look like? What did that feel like?
My God. Um, it was literally a touch and go. Honestly, I didn't see my next day. Every day was like, God, you got to do it. Like It took all of my strength just to shower. Like when I tell you I celebrate a shower, people may be like, "Really, girl? That's nasty." Listen, you don't know until you literally been wiped out. A piece of you was in heaven before you listen. You don't imagine that, but when God did it, and I can talk about it. That's my biggest testimony. Like God has given me so much strength and joy out of that. Like people say, "I'm sorry for your loss." No, I was lost. My son is not.
Yeah, I was
His
lost.
address is heaven. His
I
address is
was
heaven.
lost,
I was
and
lost, but
if
he's not.
it hadn't happened, then I would not have been able to share it with someone else.
Absolutely.
But you know, while we out here, let me go ahead and let everybody know that you are literally going to be my co-host on another show that we have, which is called Girls Talk, and we're going to be talking about some things with the women and all that kind of stuff. And I may even bring you on to co-host Keep It 100. So this is your introduction to my platform, and so that's why I want people to know about you. So did you ever deal with depression? I know you were saying about celebrating the shower. I get
Absolutely.
it. But what
Absolutely.
did depression look like? Not just in that, but in your life. What did depression look like?
Depression look like you see me put together today. This is who I am. Okay. This is who I am. If I went out and I didn't have no lip gloss popping, my hair wasn't slicked up properly, honey, just know depression was taking over. Like, listen, this is my mother. Don't leave the house. She don't even let nobody come in unless she's like this. This is who I am. So when you see me with sweatpants on and I'm just looking crazy, hair is a mess, baby, just know life was lifing, but God
Life was
stood up.
life. Life was
Life
life.
was lifing,
And
but God
here's the
stood up.
thing. I want to make sure that people, for the ones that are just joining, it's Keep It 100. And so I may not use your church cliches. I'm a pastor's daughter, but I'm just as real as the next people. There are people who are trying to get delivered and they don't know all that churchy stuff. Like we give them the word, but we need to, our lifestyles should be saying
Definitely.
we glorify God. I was
Absolutely.
once depressed. I once had suicidal thoughts. I dealt with depression.
Listen,
And at the end of it, God still has a story. God still has a victory for me to stand, and there's still restoration, and there's
woo,
still joy. There's still hope for us who was underdogs. Because
listen.
here's the thing, you know, sometimes people look at you like, oh my God, they're going through so much. Oh my God, every time you turn around, they done lost this, or they don't got this, or depression, or that. Just like the little boy in the Bible, when I think he was blind, if I'm not mistaken, and they said, who sinned? Was it the father or was it the mother? And he said,
Yes,
no.
my God, yes. I love that story.
Woo!
Yes.
This was for the glory of
Glory to
God.
God. My
And
God.
so I want to encourage you all that are going through. I want to encourage the underdog. I want to encourage those
Ooh,
people
my
that
God.
right now they don't have the push, but it's something they don't have the push, but they got the drive. I want to encourage you that God is with you.
My God.
And you got to go through it's necessary. So
Definitely.
dealing with depression, how did you get out of it?
When I tell you I gave up on God, I literally did. And my son's like, "What? You mommy?" Yes, mommy. Like when people say don't question him, you don't think he's your dad then because I question him. God, what is this? You promised me you would not give me more than I can handle, but what is my child doing up there with you?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I tell you depression every second of the day, people kept asking, "Are you okay?" And I kept saying yes. And then
Mm-hmm.
one day I just snapped and I said, "No, I'm not." And I'm tired of you asking me.
And
So
it's okay.
I'm tired of you asking me if I'm okay. When I'm not, would you be? Would you be okay? First pregnancy and your child's going on with God.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be okay?
Hmm.
So depression for me, it just really was I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't sleep, I wouldn't shower until I absolutely had to. Like I absolutely had to. So these people don't take my child who was still here fighting for his life. Like I got myself together because I still had a child in the NICU who didn't deserve his mom to not be
Woo.
there. I had no choice but to get myself together. I had no choice but to get up and look like something. It's just like me getting up to look like something was me putting myself together, even though I was falling apart.
Because it was still ministry. And at that moment when I lost my son, I did not understand that this part of my process, this thing that looks like it's a negative part of my life. I need y'all to hear us. This part that looks like it's negative, this part that looks like it God snatched something away from me was actually ministry. Who would have known that at the end of at the end of that was going to be the particular thing that God was going to use to allow me to encourage and to motivate and to inspire other people, that if I survive, you can survive it too. So we got to look at our listen to this. So, I mean, just like I know it's in the natural, but in the spirit, it might be an emergency for somebody to hear this word. It might be a 911 pull to say, hey, I need you to look at your circumstance different and know that God is with you. It is ministry and it is necessary. Like I feel you. I understand your story, and people have no idea what we really for real went through, or what the process for real was. The crying and tears, they just see this. They just see this, but it was a process to get to that. So let me ask you this. As far as, did you say you were married? You got kids?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It'll be 4 years, June the 20th. But we've been
Woo.
together 14 years, August.
Okay. So after your process of losing your son, what did the trust in people look like?
It's funny you asked that because my husband already had problems with trusting people. But for me, I'm more trusting than he is. However, that was a very difficult process because our children were so touch and go. They were 1 pound 3 ounces, 1 pound 5 ounces, born at 23 weeks. The doctors had to do a lot for them every day. So they would tell me to pull the plug and all this stuff, and I refused. And I literally was there that day, and then I came back, and my son was no longer. He was just, everything was off. So I'm just like, I felt like it was playing. As soon as mom was gone, we're going to end this. Like, I got to hold my son that day. And people don't understand, for a micro preemie child, that's huge for you to be able to kangaroo hold. Everything has to be perfect. So for everything to be perfect earlier in the day, and then later on that night, he's no longer here. I'm just like, yeah, I never trusted y'all. So
I never trusted y'all.
I never trusted y'all. Like, they would tell me, Mom, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. And I was up every care I was up. That's when you get to change your diaper. I was up doing both of theirs. They was like, would you get some sleep? No, I'm not. Would you sleep if your children were fighting? Y'all telling me they may not make it through the day, not even the night, but the day. So my trust was all jacked up. I didn't even trust God no more for a long time. Like, I'm just like, yeah, Daddy, I thought I knew you, but what is this? What is this? And it took me a while, like a good 2 years, for me to really get myself back together and say, okay, Father, all right, I start to see a little bit of light in this, because for a long time I was just black. Like, I smiled and I did what I had to do, and people thought like, oh, you're so inspiring. I'm like, if only you knew what was in this brain.
If only you knew. Listen, just listening to your story, it took me back a little bit in mine, because in mine, I had the church people that, and they meant well, the church mothers that, praise the Lord through it, dance on the enemy's head. Don't let the devil know that he got you. And I literally put on a mask and act like I was okay. So I was grieving. I was going through it. I never lost a child, so I really didn't know what this was supposed to look like. And I felt like something was wrong with me. And I know I'm talking about a child, but for the ones that are viewing, think about your circumstances. And so I kept pushing. I kept showing up. I kept showing up for God, but I couldn't. But I couldn't show up for myself.
My God.
I kept showing up for God, and I could not. And so I began to hide my emotions, because I didn't know how to deal with them. And my process is not yours. My process is not somebody else. And I kept trying to go to church, and I felt myself. I felt the unforgiveness. I felt the bitterness.
Listen.
I felt the rage. And I'm sitting in church. I was young, but I was sitting in church, and I was housing all this stuff, because it felt like I had to deal with my emotions of this by myself behind closed doors. I still had a daughter.
My
that
God.
needed me. And
Yes.
so when church came, I'm shouting, I'm praising the Lord, I'm doing all this stuff, showing up for God. And then after service, listen, here's the thing. It was as if church was my fix.
Yeah.
It was as if church was a drug for me.
My God.
But I'm still sitting in church and I'm having unforgiveness in my head with these church mothers because I'm just like something's not adding up or something's wrong with me. And in my process, I didn't do it all right. But looking at it now, I did it the way God wanted to be done
Right.
because there's a testimony behind it. So because I didn't know how to deal with my emotions, I didn't know how to deal with my pain, I didn't know how to deal with my anger. And I know we're talking about kids, but listen, for the viewers, I want you to think about your situation.
Yeah.
And I felt like I didn't have an outlet. So I became an alcoholic.
My God.
I did. I started drinking just to numb the
The
pain,
massive. Yes.
just to feel better because I was like, I don't know who I can talk to
My
say,
God.
hey, I'm still feeling this that my son is gone. I don't know how to grieve. I'm mad with God. I'm mad with the
Yes.
church women, the people that was praying for me. I'm mad with them, and I'm still coming to church. And so that didn't work for a while with being an alcoholic, and I still kept coming. And after a while, years later, then I became a bully. I just started randomly just beating people up. Now the thing I'm talking about is dealing with the pain
Mm-hmm.
and dealing with the emotions and dealing with the anger and the unforgiveness.
Okay.
Listen, I know we on the show together. I'm so sorry, but I just wanted to share this
No
because there's
sorry.
so many people that's sitting in the house of God with hidden pain
My
and
God.
hidden unforgiveness and hidden drama. And listen, and if you don't tackle that and get free and deliver from that, it's an open door for the enemy to use
Yes.
anybody, because people may be looking, oh, I would have never done that. Oh, I would have never. Oh, she said she was alcoholic in church. And she said she was a bully in church. As such are some of you. When you don't know how to redirect that, but I thank God that I got delivered. I thank God that He brought me out of it. And I thank God that He taught me how to deal with, the balance of my
Mhm.
emotions. And He also let me know that it's okay. It's okay. I need you to not sin, but it's
Don't
okay.
be angry.
It's okay that your story of survival does not look like the next person. Can you relate to any of that throughout your
Absolutely.
process?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just like I felt like people were forcing me to hurry up and grieve. Like I'm sorry I'm not healing
I
past
was
this
wondering
grief.
why I was saying that.
It's just like don't force me. You don't know like people really don't know what to say. That's why I'm the mind your words coach because I learned so much in that grieving process. Don't say that to this next person. At least you have one more. At least you have another one. You can always have more. And God makes no mistakes. That one right there really pissed me off because I felt like God, it's a mistake. God makes some mistakes. You don't tell that to somebody who just their child just went on before them.
You said you made some mistakes.
God, you messed up this time. I know better now, God. Thank you for forgiving me, but I was ignorant. And I'm like, you messed up this time.
Yeah,
I did a Lazarus prayer and everything. God, bring them back. What is this?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
people like them for you to say the church, the mothers and all. Like that's why, excuse me. That's why we need platforms like this because people need to know you're not gonna always have it together.
Mm-mm,
Not
mm-mm.
always have it together. You mean your child went on and you're supposed to just go to church and smile and shout your grief away? Absolutely not. You need a coach. You need therapy.
Yeah, yeah.
You need a sister that you can just talk to and be real, baby. I ain't take a shower in 2-3 days. I
Yeah.
had to this time.
And
I had
listen,
to
and
this
a
time.
coach needs a coach.
A coach needs a coach. A
And a
therapist needs a therapist.
pastor. I don't care whether you got a title. Those are
You
the
can what
people
you
who got
are.
titles is the main ones that need a coach, or the main ones that need a therapist. Like they need to
Absolutely.
sometimes sit down
You gotta
and
let it go.
just let God dig in them, because it's so many people that's operating out of brokenness.
Yeah.
And and God will still use you, but you need to take a minute and breathe and get
Yes.
healed in that area.
Absolutely.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So give me a minute. Keep
Yes,
talking.
ma'am. Well, I just want to tell the viewers no more suffering in silence. One thing that I heard growing up, what goes on in this house stays in this house, not if it is hurting you. So you need to let somebody know, listen, sis, I'm not okay. And I teach my clients that it's okay not to be okay. We just cannot stay there. It is okay not to be okay. We just cannot stay there.
Yeah, you can't live in it.
Stop lying to yourself and saying, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, until you're not. Like I was breaking down at the grocery store. And I'm just like, and they're like, oh, you okay? You got some money? I had food stamps at the time. I was okay. It was just, I wasn't emotionally okay.
Yeah, you suffering inside. People are. So listen, so this message is, let's have a conversation, and we really want to talk about whatever God drops in our spirit. But it's so many church people that's suffering in silence, and we don't look it. We don't, like, I'm going through a process of something. It's been a year. And everybody's like, oh my God, I forgot you were going through, or you look so good. And I'm like, I like to mentally lost my mind. And God still expected for me to show up and to I'm in the bed, and I'm grieving. I'm crying. I'm broken. And the next morning I get up with strength out of nowhere
My
to
God.
encourage and motivate somebody else. And I'm just like, what are you doing? And God has a purpose, and he
Listen,
has a plan. So listen, so if you was to look back on that experience or any other experience, would you really say right now it was worth it?
I would.
I would
Without,
too.
without
Ab-
even thinking about it, I would. I absolutely would.
Absolutely.
I was at work last week, and a new coworker asked me how many children do I have, and I said two, one in heaven, one on earth. And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss." I said, "No, it's not my loss. I was, but I know his address." And she was like, "Hmm." And one of the students, he said, "I work with special needs," and he said, "Well, that sucks."
Oh, what? What? What?
He
What?
said, he said, "Well, that sucks." When I said one in heaven, I said, "Well, actually, no, it doesn't." I said, "Because I get to encourage other people who are lost because their children are went on before them." I said, "Now I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you it didn't suck for a long time. However, when God shifted my perspective and I saw that He did heal my child as I prayed, just in His own way,
Yeah.
you know." God said, "Didn't you ask me to heal him?" I said, "I did." He said, "Did I not?" I said, "You did."
It didn't. It,
You know, so
it could have went another way. It could have went another way with us.
absolutely,
We look at people who have given up, who have committed suicide, who have done so many damaging things to themselves because of a trial.
yeah,
And listen, and some people have given up because of the fact that they don't have a community. They
yes.
don't have emotional support.
All of them.
And listen, when you don't have emotional support, it will break you down. Like, but you've got to know that God is always there. He'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. And it's nothing wrong with someone picking up the phone saying, I'm thinking about you. Are
Okay.
you okay? Something just that easy. And I think we got to learn to do that a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this question. Okay, so how do we love God in life's disappointment? How do we do it?
I remember that God never failed me. My expectations did. That's what really helped center me because for a long time I felt like God failed me. But I had to come to myself and say, no, my expectations, when I found out this and when I found out that, my
Hmm.
expectations were different than what my reality now is. So I
Hmm.
love God with all that I have because at some point that's all that I had.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I even felt like my husband didn't understand. I was mad with like our grief looked different. And I think God years
Yeah.
later, God told me you needed him to grieve like that, or you would have literally been in a crazy home. So I had to
Yep.
apologize and thank him for the way that he grieved. But for years, I was upset. Why didn't you cry with me? Why didn't this? Why didn't that? But he needed to be as how he was to help me in my
Because
process.
it's
So I
another group of
love
people
God.
that he has to minister to. Yeah. So I just for me, I look back over the things that I made it through.
My God, that part.
I thank God. This is in the middle of my disappointment, life's disappointment. I thank God for the other stuff.
Yes.
I thank God for the stuff that y'all didn't see.
Didn't see.
I thank God for when I was punching walls and cussing.
Listen. Talk about it.
And God didn't take me out. He gave me a new grace and a new mercy to get my mindset together. So I changed my perspective to
Yes, that
see
part.
that He's not trying to hurt me, He's trying to help me and heal me. And
Yes,
listen, and He gave me a platform to be healed. You get that? When
yes,
you got your
absolutely,
platform, it's an opportunity to
absolutely.
give other people a platform to walk through the process of healing and deliverance. And as they do it, I'm getting free as well.
That's why it's our responsibility to share what God has done. Like, take off the cloak of shame. The more that I share, like, I didn't want to share plenty of things that God has me on live sharing.
Hmm.
I'm like, that's
Hmm.
not. He said, it's my business, and I need you to expose it so the people know that you don't like what I brought you through, but I brought you through.
Hmm. Because He's a
Period.
keeper.
He is.
Okay, so let's talk about relationships of any kind: church relationships, job relationships, spouse relationships, parent relationships. How important is it to have relationship? I used to think, I'm an all in all by myself. I don't need nobody. I can do this. I don't need no encouragement. I know now that that was hurt talking.
Yeah.
I had walls up, but yet this was the thing. I had walls up. I built walls so that people couldn't hurt me, but then I'm inside of the wall questioning, how come ain't nobody coming in to help me?
Yes.
Just as bipolar as listen, if any of y'all out there you doing that, I'm telling you, because I've been there, done it. You
Reverse
just as
thinking.
bipolar as you want to be. You can't build a wall to protect yourself and then be inside of it by yourself, lonely, depressed, overwhelmed, and then fussing and complaining
Nobody
that
coming.
no one is coming. Talk about it.
That is, I grew up with that. I'm just like, well, first of all, I'm to mind your words. You got to mind your words. So what you speak is what you're going to see. So make sure what you're speaking you want to see.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Seriously, because many times we are trying to heal from the very words that we built. Don't nobody love me. Don't nobody care about me. Don't nobody come call and check on.
You spoke
You're,
it.
you're speaking that. So even when somebody thinks to pick up the phone, they're like, oh, no, they don't want no company. Oh, no, they're going, no. Start
Hmm.
speaking. I have great community that always checks on me when I need it.
Hmm.
Start speaking what you really want. And then you will see it coming to fruition. And then you will heal a whole lot better. Because when I felt like I had nobody in my healing process, however, once I took the time to truly heal, God showed me they were there. They were there.
Hmm.
They were
They
there.
prepare.
It's not in a capacity that you could accept because you were so broken. I
Hmm.
was too
That's
broken
good.
to accept the little crumbs that they were dropping. Nobody knew what to say. Are you okay? That would set me off. So it's just like I was. Would you be okay? When I tell you there was nothing you could really say to me, so God had to show me, and I'm like, okay, now I can understand why I felt like I had nobody because who I did have, I threw away.
Or you got your picks, and then the picks that are there, they not even helping you. You
Yeah,
just got them close because they're familiar.
yeah, that part.
But
I
but
did
when
have a I kept close, but then what they did was just like terrible. So I'm just like, I'm good on everybody.
Yeah, it was awful. And God, I just really believe that God is just like, I need you to see that you're not by yourself in this.
Yes.
And we really have to just push through even that of realizing and knowing that you're not by yourself. And let me also throw this out there. Just because someone needs somebody at that moment, it does not mean that they are needy. It does not mean that they want attention. We need to stop with all that kind of
Yes.
stuff. Like, oh my God, they just wanted to. No, stop. I was thinking that with a friend of mine, and somebody was like, they just wanted attention. So I
Mhm.
started thinking they just want attention, but they didn't. It was a cry for help, and
That's right.
we missed it. We missed it, but trying to be so churchy. So not everybody is wanting attention. Not everybody is needy. There are some people that you got to just stop looking at them the way that you of what you think or what you need and reach. We are supposed to bear the infirmities of each other. We don't really do that. We don't do that. And that's what God is calling for. That is ministry as well.
Mhm.
Somebody sitting right beside me
Absolutely.
in church, and I'm just and the person is broken, and I won't. Listen, I'm so here that I won't even look. We got discernment. You can feel that the
Yes.
person is going through. You can feel that the person needs prayer, and you won't even reach out to them. But listen, and when it comes my turn and I'm going through,
Okay.
I expect for everybody to
It's
drop
great.
everything and come see about, baby, it don't work. What you give out will come in. And if the people that you expect to be there aren't there, it doesn't mean nobody's there. There's other people. There's, you can see God in any and everything he's speaking. What's your thoughts?
When I'm thinking about the NICU right now, as you're talking about the relationships, because I was like the youngest, but I was the mother of so many people because my children were the most critical. And I love the nighttime crew for as the front desk.
Right.
And when I tell you, they bared with me. And they got me shampoo and a little hair thing and all kinds of little spa stuff for me to take care of myself because they saw that I wasn't. Like I
Right.
just was going. I just was going. And after my son got transferred to AI, honey, she came to the Ronald McDonald house and brought me a package deal. And I'm just like, what do you need? I'm like, nothing. She was like, whatever. Where are you at? And I told her, and she showed up. And she, I can't stay because this and that. She had the flu, wore her mask, double mask, and brought me some packages. And I said, when I tell you, when people want to be there, they will. So do not try to force someone to be there. Because I promise you, God always has somebody on assignment for you. Always.
Always.
And we get upset
Always.
because what's familiar has not shown up. A lot of times what's familiar can't even show up for them. So release them people.
Yeah.
Release
Yeah.
them people tonight. Let tonight be your release party. And let
Yeah.
them alone. Pray for them, cover them. But say, God, I receive whoever you are bringing to and for me. I'm going to
Mhm.
pour into you. You're going to pour into me. And this is going to be a never-ending well.
And when you release, it not only sets them free, it sets you free from
Yes,
the
absolutely.
expectation. Because
Absolutely.
if you got an expectation, I expect for them to be there, I thought they was going to be there, that may not even be they may not have what you need. Someone else may be equipped to give you the push that
Definitely.
you need. But if you focusing right here on, Bobby, he always have it. I'm always pouring into Bobby. No, that's not the way your deliverance is gonna come. It ain't gonna come that way. It's gonna come through Linda. And you overlooking Linda. I said celebrate
Yes,
everything,
you have.
everybody that's around you. So I think that's good. Something else you want to
Yeah,
say?
just add this that many times unvoiced expectations will never get met. I learned the hard way. You
Yeah,
literally have to open up your mouth and say, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. And in your grief, you have to really give people assignments. I need
yeah.
you to call me on Tuesday or text me because I may not answer. I need you to make me a meal because, baby, I have not been eating. You know, you literally have to give people assignments. And if they do not do it, then hey, at least I can, they say if you need anything, ask me. You go ahead and tell those people what you need. If they do not do it, release them and say, God, bring who I need. And he will. That's
Yeah,
it.
and then you know what? It's good that you said it. Listen, it's like from coach to coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a coach, life coach, you a coach, so it's from
Okay.
coach to coach. But this is the thing. So even in that, you got to discipline yourself. Because if you're such a strong, I know me in my process, God has got me to the point where I need people. I've always lived my life where I felt like I did it by myself. I
Okay.
didn't wait for nobody to do it. I was in a place in an area where I did it myself. That's all I knew. I always said I was like the woman on the color purple. All my life I had to fight. Seriously, and literally I did. And so God put me in a position where I needed to need people. And I did not realize that I had so much pride. I asked my mother one time, I said, Mom, I said, do you think I'm prideful? She said, absolutely. And and when I think pride, I think of thinking that you're better than someone else.
Right.
But that's not the kind of pride that they were talking about.
Never do it.
It's when you need something, you will not reach out and ask for help. Or if someone is trying to help you, you act as if you don't need it. And God is coming after that. He's breaking all that. I know within me, that
Yes.
He's breaking all of that up. And it don't feel good.
Feel
It's
good.
uncomfortable. We don't like it. I told the Lord, I said, I want to be in control.
That part.
And I'm in a whole year. I'm
Part.
going through this, and I was like, God, I don't like it because I know how to handle this problem. So the Lord told me to come off my job, and I ain't never been off my job. I can
Listen.
go on my job. I can start working. I can work two jobs. I can go back to my old jobs and make it happen.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I was like going through this process. God, I'm doing this because you said to do it. It do not feel good. And just the other day, I told somebody, I said, you know what? I haven't lost anything.
Nothing.
I literally have not lost anything in this process. It don't feel good because he snatched my control. He won't even let me know what my next is. He
Listen,
won't let me know what my tomorrow is.
my God,
I, I've always been a type of person. I live by schedule. He snatched all that. I ain't even got no schedule.
my
And what
God,
happens, I might run into somebody and start ministering because now I'm free for him to use me.
my
He's
God.
putting everything together now. But I say that to say he will break up your pride. And
Yes.
you may not think that you are a prideful person, but he will make you need, listen, God will make you need him.
Him.
If it's mentally, he will make you get on your knees and cry out to him. He will make you need your family. Now, if you know the people that are around you, if they have a choice, they may not show up. But if they don't show up, he will make sure someone else has with what you need. I people listen, he put me on people's hearts where they've sown seeds, and I was like, this is so embarrassing. But then he reminded me, like, you out there in the community and you
Sure.
give to
Yeah.
everybody else. Why would God not?
Listen, not provide and give you.
But the God, I don't like it. It ain't about what
Like,
you
you have to
like.
learn how to receive. Been there. And just like I would tell people, you're not gonna mess with my blessing because God told me to sow. And then they would tell me the same thing. I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. But God will literally make sure you know that you are not God. Your job didn't make the way. I
Yeah,
did. So
yeah.
when he tells you to go away from the job so I can show you who I am, baby, listen. Been
Mhm.
there. Did
So
not
relationships is important, but you got to make sure that you are in alignment with the right
yeah.
person, the right relationship. Because listen, seasons come and seasons change. Simply mean that people come and people change. Just because they've been there 50 years, this season that you're in right now, they may not have the goods to help you through this season here. And it's okay. It's okay to delete them. It's okay to walk away. It's okay. Listen, your victory, I said this the other day, my victory may make some people around me uncomfortable. And
And
it's
that's
okay.
okay. Absolutely
It's,
okay.
it's okay. It's okay. All right. So let me go to the next one. Those conversations with God, those conversations with myself, those conversations with others. When I am depressed, what does that look like? So most of the time, it don't look like nothing because I shut it down,
Listen.
and that's not good.
It's not.
That's not good. What is it supposed to look like?
It should look like us saying, listen, I need some time. Like I've had this friend who she may go on sabbatical like 4 months, but she'll give me a warning. Look, sis, X, Y, and Z. Just pray for me. So I love that because people can get offended. You know, why aren't you answering? Why aren't you texting? I mean, you not only when they got something going on in life, you know, but when you give that little, hey, this is what's going on, just a little sneak peek, keep me prayed up. So if you get depressed, you still have people watering you. So you can have that light come a little bit quicker versus you just shutting down completely. And when I tell y'all I shut down completely, I had a black curtain where I couldn't tell if it was light or dark. And
I
once I
just shut
came out of
down
there, I
last
pulled
week.
that curtain down. It was the sunlight that blind me. I was like a vampire because I was good in the press and I was good with it. Leave me alone. I don't want to hear it. Y'all been ain't coming. Y'all been ain't doing, and I don't want to invite you now because I felt like if I did share that, all y'all was gonna do was talk about me. That's why it's good to have the right circle around you because I know the people who I have around me now. If they found out Shanika's dealing with a little tweak of depression, oh baby, they're gonna pray it out and they're gonna make sure they water me.
That's the way that it's supposed to be. You should never allow people to suffer in silence by their side. And I've been saying it for years. This is the thing. So I know that the person that is around you is strong. I know I'm strong. I'm a very strong individual. I'm a person. I encourage people. I motivate. but you need to make sure that you check on your strong
Yes,
friends. And
absolutely.
those are the people that are overlooked. Check on your pastors, check on, check on your
Yes,
family members. But you may like, well, they okay, they don't need, you don't know what they need. Because this is the thing. If something's wrong or they're not responding, listen, I got a friend that he like a police officer, but if he calls me and I don't respond, he'll let it go a day. But if he texts me and I don't respond, he'll let it go. But if he keeps calling, he don't hear me. He said, I'm going to your mom. I'm going to call your mom. I'm going to check a family member, see what's going on with you. He doesn't just let it
that's
go.
beautiful.
You understand? And that goes along with the scripture that says, know those that labor among you.
Yes,
And sometimes we can know it, we still let them go because we be dealing with our own stuff. And that's not how God wants it to be. It's really honestly not. Oh, they got it. They'll be okay. They'll be strong. Because here's the thing, because when they get up out of their victory, they may not allow you to just come back into their space, just
absolutely.
sliding in their space like things was, especially if they had to fight to keep it together.
Or
You know what I mean? So
I mean, like,
relationship,
baby, you see me suffering. I can't just let you slither back.
you ain't gonna just slither back
No,
sneaky
sorry.
like
I
a
love you
snake.
no less, but I
And it's okay, because if you're taking and you're looking like, during this process, you weren't there.
yeah,
You didn't. And some people say, well, I prayed from a distance.
right.
No, baby, it's nothing wrong with touching someone and
Yep.
saying, I see you.
Okay.
I got you covered, so that person knows that while they're fighting, they're not fighting alone. And it's okay. So this is another one. So when you understand the whole picture, the true reality, then what's next? So when you like right now, we understand what we went through. We
Right.
understand why we went through. What's the next stage?
The next stage is to equip somebody else. And just like they say, each one teach one. I
What we
don't want
doing
you to
tonight?
just fish for me. I need you to teach me how to fish so I never go hungry. So if I took my time to really sit in the corner with God and with the right people to pour into me to make sure I healed properly, now I need to come back out and show you. Because I don't want you to suffer in silence. I don't want you to die where you are. God needs you to live. He needs you to heal with intention, face filled to heal.
Mhm.
So after we realize, okay, this is why I went through what I went through. Now it's my job to show the world I'm okay. But I
I'm
wasn't at one point in time. But let me equip you to be the same.
You know what, sis? It looks like exactly what we're doing tonight.
Absolutely. To sum it up, absolutely.
And he will listen. And here's the thing: he will always make sure that there is some kind of platform for you to be able to share it. Some people may like, well, our church won't let me do that. Okay, well, you got a job. You
Yes.
minister on your job. You minister to your neighbor. You minister to your family member. He
Mm,
always gives you a platform. And most of the time, people want a platform where they can be seen. No,
absolutely.
people's most effective work is when you're not seen.
That part. And then I'll
That's
do
when
away with
men.
the bag and say, hey, I fed them today. Hey, I got them a hotel. That really, I be like, I understand sometimes when you have to expose it to try to get more people to help. But I don't
Mhm,
like them homeless people with the signs all on camera. Yeah,
mhm,
who are you doing
mhm.
it for? Man?
But you should not just do it just that time. It should be a part of your
Yes,
lifestyle. But then here's the thing, because when I was in Dover and there was some homeless people that I were taught, they want people to hear their story.
yes.
They want people
That's
to know.
different.
So you got to even be sensitive to that, because
Yep.
there's some home people that are very appreciative of what's
Hmm.
done, and they want to share that because to them it's like God didn't forget them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it kind of goes both
Yep, both
ways.
ways.
So
You
you
just
just
gotta
have
know
to
your
know what your motive is of why you're
Absolutely.
doing what you're doing. Okay.
Absolutely.
This is my last one. I think we already talked about it, but we can talk about it again. So when it's
Oh my
God's way
God.
and it's not my way, it's
Woo.
God's the way God wanted. It's not the way I want it. What does that feel like?
Whew. It feels like get me off this roller coaster. Fast. Because when I just read that, what I saw was me taking pictures of both of my children on Valentine's Day because I was due January 31st. I had them October 10th. So I was in the NICU taking pictures of my son Kamir on Valentine's Day, and I'm just like he's crying, wanting to be held. I'm like, just let mommy have this. However, I saw a picture of two physically, being active in their lives, but God saw a different way, so I can reach because the whole thing. Nobody wants to be broken, but I love this story I heard about a little boy crying because he broke his crayon, and his grandfather said, "What's wrong?" He said, "I broke my crayon," and the grandfather said, "It's okay, give me one. Now you have something to share." So we hate to be broken. We hate the mess, all of this stuff, but we get to share. We have something to share. All of us have something to share. If we're all put together and yeah, honey, I ain't never had that. I ain't never had to go through this. Honey, what homeless girl? Bye. What are you doing with yourself? But shut up.
Shut
Because
up.
what? I have something to share. I can tell you, I'm relatable. You can see, oh, she may be put together, but baby, she is not all put together.
They say broken crayons still color.
Still color.
They still
Maybe
color.
my company to color with you. She.
And when you do it God's way, it's so much easier. When you do it God's way, it's the best way. Let's jump to this real quick. Trauma bonding and trauma bonding, connecting with people who are going through the same thing that you're going through, or either they've got trauma in your life.
Ooh, that one is a lot. I feel like that one's a whole season. Drama and trauma bonding. First of all, a lot of people just are together. It's really crazy when you really heal, because I had connections where I just was with them because we shared this traumatic experience. However, once I started to heal, it started to be a problem over there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, baby, it's time for me to go after, all my healing. But they're comfortable because they love the attention and all this extra stuff. They're being, traumatized and just down and hurt, all of that, sick. After a while, I'm tired of being sick. It's time to go after my healing.
And
You
it's
have
okay.
that time by yourself. So trauma and trauma bonding. Once you really decide I'm over this, I got to heal. Watch a lot of relationships be gone.
They can and be gone quickly. I think that'll be one of our shows. This is the last one. Jealousy between sisters in church, or in your home, or on your job. So when I say sisters, I'm just talking about women.
Good. Yeah.
Why is it jealousy between sisters?
I feel like it absolutely can be. And sometimes you can show up the way somebody wish they knew how to show up. And then they get jealous instead of saying, sis, how do you do it? Because people don't know how much it takes for me to show up like this. Like a lot of people get upset about my laugh. That's the joy of the Lord. I'm sorry you haven't experienced it. But baby, let me tell you, he gave me this. So you can be jealous of how somebody shows up and it can show up in you. Or you can say, sister, how do you do it? Because I promise you I'll share.
Learn from it. Learn from it. I used to have a problem with people who got married, and I know that you living in sin and I'm still not married. That was a problem for me. And I had to really coach myself and really start celebrating other people. Because when you celebrate other people, that's when the door opens for you. Because listen, it's a lot of people that have jealousy in their heart, but you don't see it on the outward appearance. And God is saying that's what he's coming after. There should always be a sister bond, no matter what.
Even like you may desire a house and you see somebody who just became a homeowner and you know that, what? Huh? Just celebrate them. I heard so many people, just celebrate them. Tell them congratulations until you really mean it. And watch what God do for you.
That's good. That's good. And you have to you might have to keep practicing. I'm so happy for them. I could punch them in the mouth. I'm so excited to God, I could punch them. And then one day that negative thought is not going to be there. And then that celebration will be genuine and be real. I always say, work on you, work on the hidden stuff, the stuff that people don't see. Work on it when God brings it to the surface. Because we talked about a lot tonight, and there's a lot that needs to be worked on, and it's possible and it's doable. All right. So I want you to take, and I want you to leave an encouraging, inspiration, or motivational message to those people who are viewing tonight.
I just want to say that you are loved, you are needed, you are important. Your story matters. And we want to just help you take off the cloak of shame. Daily, I put on Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10 through 18 to really equip ourselves. It's the armor of God. We need to equip ourselves daily so we don't go out into this nasty world naked. But you are loved, you are needed, you are appreciated. Your story matters. It's time that we share the embarrassed truth. And I promise you, you will be free. You will be free. Homelessness, so much stuff. Living on this place, going here, going there, not having money, not having that. Don't worry about what people are going to think, because I promise you, there's more people that need your story than people that's going to talk about you. And let them talk. They talk about God. I just want to share, and no more suffering in silence. Share, share, share. Know that you have community. It may not be what you're familiar with, but you do have community, and you are loved, and your story is needed.
That's good. And it is okay to share your story exactly the way it happens. I did a live the other day, and I said, we are so focused on the opinions of other people and making other people comfortable that we begin to lie about our story. Minimize it, because we don't want someone else to feel uncomfortable. And that's why I'm running now saying my victory may make you feel uncomfortable.
Listen,
it's okay. My testimony may make you feel uncomfortable, but it's my testimony. And just because it's not working for you does not mean that it won't heal, that God won't use it to heal, deliver, and set someone else free just because you are uncomfortable with it. So give the whole testimony the way that it is, and it's okay. It's all right. Want to thank you for joining. I really appreciate you. And again, this is going to be my new co-host, and I'm excited about that. Any message you want to leave before I pull out of here?
If you don't know God, get to know him. Get a sister friend who been through the ringer, but yet she still stands. We are your sister friends. Connect with us.
That's good. I love you. Have a good night.
Love you too.
Meshell, as she talks about life.